Well, everybody, as you can see, I done went and did a big goof up. Kevin here with Kevin's Way Works. So as you can see, I busted out the back window on my truck. So all I was doing was loading up wood from my deck through the back window, like I've been doing for 23 years, without an issue. And then 2 boards from being the last board, I slid it in, it slid sideways, caught the edge, popped that window right out. So we're gonna see if we can figure out how to get this old one out and get a new one in. Alright guys, I watched some videos on this and none of them are for this model year or any of the model years that would have the same kind of window. So they have them using these windshield removal tools and coming up and around the edge, but there's just no way, guys. I've tried, I can't even get that to cut like any of it. So I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna try something alternate. What we may end up doing is just busting this out little by little and then just peeling it, backing off, because this is just all molded together with rubber and plastic. So I'm gonna cut right around this edge carefully without cutting through to the metal and the paint. I want to see what this gives me. Let me go get gloves on, guys, so I don't cut myself. So right now I'm just cut through the rubber. I'm not actually cut through the urethane. Just trying to see how this works. Guys, don't break your rear glass. Don't break your rear glass out. This is gonna be a pain. Careful pulling on this. If it breaks free, you're gonna go flying backwards. Guys, I think life's trying to tell me something because there's a storm coming. Here's the problem. I'm not a lefty. I don't see how the pros do this without farking up the paint. I mean, it's just pulling the paint off. That's not even for me scraping, that's just pulling the paint right off. They do not want you to be able to get this out ever. This is a permanent piece. Oh yeah, we're pulling paint. That's for sure. Guys, if I go flying off the edge of the truck, I'm not gonna be happy. I got a feeling that's what's gonna happen. I can't remember how I got it out. I think this piece of plastic has to come out first. And then we can pick it up and just slide it out, just like that. This is why you see those for sale all the time online and nothing else. I saw the paint go. So close, guys, so close. I think this is why they give you touch-up paint sometimes when you buy these. The problem is I think we're getting up into the rubber. It'd be easier if I could get down in here and pull up, but I'm kind of afraid to do that. She wants to break so bad. At this point, guys, I'm just thinking about busting it off, because that's not like regular glue. That's not going to just pop free. Yeah, it has to be cut. This is crazy, guys. Ooh, I don't know where that sound was. Oh no. I'm going to have to do a paint job, guys. Oh yeah, we got a good bit of paint right there. So anyway, I'll touch that up. Oh, all I gotta say is, holy cow, this is a pain. Yeah, I don't see how these guys can do this without tearing things up. Is that rain? Oh no, it's raining. All right, guys, time to put some plastic on it. Oh no, the big drafts are coming, guys. This happens to me every time. Every time I got to do something outside, it rains. I think that'll be fine. I don't think it's going to get up underneath it. Guys, I'm drenched. I'm drenched. All right, well, we'll be back to this in a little bit. All right, everybody, I'm back. So it ended up raining the entire rest of the day into the night. So I did not get back to this on the same day. So today's a different day. I'm going to modify this tool a little bit. I want to take off this ridge right here because what's happening is as I'm pulling it, it's tilting down and this little ridge right here is just scratching the paint up. I think if this was more rounded over, it would probably be less likely to do that, and it might actually help get a good bite into that urethane. Let's see what we can do. That's taking that ridge off pretty good. It's nice and rounded now. I should have done this originally. Much better, guys. Hopefully it doesn't make it so it's too thin and it won't work. All right, let's give this a try. I don't know how you even practice this. Let's say you want to do this for a living. You can't practice it on people's cars, can you? I mean, you'd be tearing up people's cars left and right. Yeah, kneeling on glass. Nice job, Kevin. All right, I'm hitting, it's not cutting this lip. Let me cut that lip off. I really need a new razor blade, but I don't know where the razor blades are. All right, guys, let's try it again. This would be easier if the bed was off, for sure. Oh, now we're getting the paint. Maybe not. No, we're not. Whew. Holy cow, guys. I don't want to push on the truck too hard because I feel like it's going to dent the side in. Oh, no. Scratch the paint. Come on. How can we have one little side holding it in place? Not what I wanted to do. Oh, darn. There we go, guys. We are so close to getting this thing out. We got it. Got some scratches on the bottom here. I've got some here, some over here. Then we have to get all this urethane off. Not all of it, but you want to get, you actually want to leave some because it's better for the urethane to stick to urethane, they tell you. How'd that do? Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna clean up all the glass and then we'll go ahead and try to remove some urethane. Look, guys, this is, they make it look easy in the videos. They make it look super easy. This is crazy pain. This is a crazy pain in the butt. Guys, I think that's working out okay. I think we can make this work. Not Not too bad, guys, not too bad. Nothing we can't fix. Got it, guys, got it. All right, everybody. So what I'm gonna do now is I just wanna get all the dirt and grease and anything else that may be up in there gone. So I like to use the spray away glass cleaner. This stuff works excellent. I don't have a lot left, so I'm just gonna have to kind of spray a little on my towel, and hopefully I have enough to do this whole thing. Now there are some dents. I actually dented the metal when I did this. I may put a little filler in there to even that out. We'll see. This is all where the urethane got peeled off and it peeled the paint off. A lot of this is overspray from when I painted it. There actually is a lip from the primer and the paint, so there's a little lip that runs right across here. Most of the scratches, see this gray right here is not scratches, that's primer. That's a scratch, that's primer, that's a scratch. Primer with a little scratch. This is all scratch. These are all little scratches all up through here. They're on the other side of that lip, which will make it easier for me to paint because it'll fill in that the depression. No scratches on the top. Actually, there's a little bit of scratch right there. This is just gray primer all up in here. Some tape residue, gray primer. This is gray primer from under the paint. And when I say gray primer, this is gray primer from the factory, and then there's gray overspray primer all around. Because there's really no way to easily get up in there to clean it and paint it, get it fully coated with black base coat. Alrighty, we're gonna hit it up with some grease and wax remover next. Interestingly, this grease and wax remover does not remove fingerprints. The spray away glass cleaner does. All right, guys, that's all clean. We're gonna go ahead and sand up the bad areas and start putting some primer on. All right, guys, so basically I'm just sanding down. Anywhere you see scratches, I'm gonna sand down around it because it's gonna get some primer and some clear coat and some base coat and some clear coat. All right, everybody, I'm just gonna put some tape on here just to keep from scratching the paint where I don't want it to be scratched. Alrighty. Alright, everybody, so as you can see, I've put some primer on this, basically covered up all of any of the bare spots and any of the existing primer. I went ahead and I put primer all over that. And this is catalyzed primer, so this only takes, I don't know, probably an hour or two for it to be fully cured, and then I can start sanding it. But I'm probably going to give it a day. I may look at it tomorrow. I'm probably not going to sand it today. Give it some more time to dry and shrink, and we'll get back to it tomorrow. And what I'll do is I'll just sand off any of the high stuff. So basically, most of this is probably going to be gone. It's going to be down to the original layer, and anything that was stripped off is going to now have primer on it. That is what's going to happen, guys. Normally you wouldn't have to do this. If you were a pro, you probably wouldn't have scratched it up as bad as I did, and you wouldn't have to do this as much. I mean, you still probably have a few spots here and there that you'd have to touch up, but a pro would probably not. They would use a different tool also, although I've seen the pros use the same tool I did, and they didn't chip up paint like I did. So first time I've ever done this, and it's obvious that it is the first time I've ever done this, but when I'm done with it, you won't even be able to tell. It'll look perfect. All right, everybody, so I went ahead and I fixed all the bad spots in the paint. And as you can see, it is ready for the window to be installed. All right, guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is we wanna get any residue that is around the edge of the paint off. And to do that, I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. You can use a rag of any type if you want, but I just happen to have some paper towels on me. That's what I'm going to use. Let's do it. Another thing you want to do is make sure you have an old ratty shirt. You don't want to get this on a good shirt. Looks good to me, guys. Looks good to me. All right, let's pull the glass over onto here. We'll get it cleaned off. Be careful picking it up. You don't want to flex it too much and break it. I'm going to hit it up 2 times just to get any oils out of the frit. And the frit is this black coating on it. It's kind of like a ceramic permanent coating. It's kind of like a ceramic coating. I think it actually might be ceramic. And the problem is your urethane will not stick to it unless it's properly primed. Cleaned and primed. So we're going to clean it and we're going to prime it with some 3M primer. Now I've already tested this without the primer. The urethane does not stick to it, guys. It was a disaster. So make sure you clean it. And if you get a window that does not come with a primer, but it does come with the urethane, you get yourself some primer. You don't want to have to redo it. I'm using 91% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol. 70% would probably be fine also. Once you clean it, don't touch it, or else the oils from your hands are going to get on it, and then you're going to have to clean it again. These are Majestic tempered safety glass. They're all Majestic. Those are done. Up there is done. Now we're going to prime it. And for priming, we're going to use this little dauber. Oh no, it's got junk in it. We're going to use this clean dauber. Oh no, it has more junk in it. And fuzz. There it is. We're going to use that. Do not step on your glass. That would stink. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to get some tape ready. I'm going to put it up there. Before we actually put it in, I'll peel some strips off. Probably should have cleaned all this debris out of here in case it gets windy. But Kevin doesn't think ahead. I already tried to install this once and it did not stick to the glass. So I really can't do anything about this. This is already stuck to the paint. It's already done. I do see some areas where we might need to put some primer. All right, so I'm gonna get up there with the primer and I'm just gonna hit any areas I see that look like they need it. This primer is really a one-time use because it says you can do 6 cars with it, about 6 glass replacements with it. But obviously I'm not gonna do that. It's like 35 bucks a little jar. It's 3M 08682 single step primer. If it's not wet, if it's not sealed, it says use it within 7 days of opening it. And if you shake it and it doesn't rattle after like 30 seconds or something like that, it's no good, throw it away. So make sure you buy this from a reputable seller, like preferably someplace, like a Zorro or a Granger. Zorro's a Granger company. Any place that is a 3M dealer, because if you buy it from Amazon, you're gonna get some, you don't know what you're gonna get. You're probably gonna get some used stuff or some stuff that's way out of date that's no longer any good. So make sure you buy it from a reputable location. So if you have an auto paint store nearby, you can get them there. All right, guys, I'm just gonna go around, touch this up, and then we're gonna do the window. Actually, let's do the window first. No, I lost my dauber. You guys see where my dauber went? It's my pocket. Found it in my pocket. Don't get it anywhere you don't want it to go. All right, let me shake this up a little longer. This is urethane or polyurethane, so it cures based on the moisture in the air. It says to shake it for 30 seconds or something like that, or a minute after you hear the ball start going. That helps get all of the pigments mixed up. All right, I'm sure that's good. So we're gonna come maybe 3/4 of an inch over, and maybe a little more, maybe about an inch over. Hopefully this little dude fits in here. Oh no, this is kind of a big one. It's made for plumbing. I don't think you're supposed to go back over it, because once it dries, it's dry. You can put multiple coats on it. I don't think I need to on this one. There we go, guys. I think that's good. We will let that dry for at least 10 minutes, it says. So I'm going to go ahead and touch up around the edge here. I'm going to touch up these areas. I'm going to get a brush. I think a brush would be easier in there. Way better that way. Give it a little more shaky shake. We haven't shaken in a while. Good. That should be good. Oh no, we went too far. Dropped it in. Be careful when you do this too. I reached my hand up in here and I got some black on the headliner. All right, I think we got it good, guys. We got it good. All right, let's talk caulk guns. You're gonna want a caulk gun that doesn't require a lot of force. So you're gonna wanna get a special one like this one that has a high and low setting. So if you're gonna use a manual caulk gun, make sure you use one like this. It doesn't work good on a car window, so I don't recommend using that. What I'm gonna recommend using is an electric one. So this one is the Harbor Freight Bauer, 40 bucks. I think it might have just came out. Might be relatively new, because there are a lot of reviews that say they just released it. So this should work really good for what we're doing. I'm gonna use this. Next up is our adhesives. So this is the stuff I tried to use the first time. It probably is okay, except I didn't clean the edges properly. So I used a grease and wax remover. Probably not the best thing to do, because it leaves a little bit of residue and it can fill in the little pores on the paint and the frit, and then nothing sticks to it. So we're not going to use that this time because I only have 3/4 of a thing left. I ordered some 3M and I have 2 tubes of that. Now I did notice the tip is a different size, so we're going to have to work with that. And with these you want to make like a triangular cut, kind of angled in the back so it angles this way. And then it should be deep enough in the V here to where it sits above the edge of the window opening. And that way it squishes out real good. So we're gonna have to figure out how to kind of get the same thing here. I think we're gonna have to cut it up here a lot higher. So let's get this cut to where we think it needs to be. So I want to find an area that's about the same thickness, right about there. Let's go ahead and cut it at an angle right about there, like that. And now we want a V, and our V should be a little further than what I originally had. So let's see if we can cut a V in this without ruining it and having to use the only other one we have. See, it cuts real quick through that plastic, so you gotta be careful. So there's a V. I don't think that's deep enough. It's about equal to what we currently have. Let me go get some sharp scissors. That might make it a little better. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a better V in this. It's a little taller. It's about the same size that way. It's taller this way, but I'm a little wider. So let's get a little wider on this. And by wider, I'm going to make it like kind of round. I don't know if I can round it this way. What do you think, guys? Let me go test it. I think that's good. I think we're going to go with that. If anything, if that's too much and we put too much goo out, I still have this one. This one's still good because the air can't cure it that fast up inside of it. So there's still a good bit in there we can use if we need to. But we definitely want to use this on the top edge. All right, guys, let's build up the nerve to do this. Like I said, it did not go well the first time. I was quite disappointed. It was quite disappointing. I got it in, it was perfectly aligned. And then I started looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, I can see light through the edge. And I pushed on it and it would push into the goo and it would come back out and the goo wasn't sticking to the window. Not how it's supposed to be. Guys, I recommend wearing gloves. I am not going to because I like to be able to feel when I get the stuff on my hands so I can wipe it off if needed. Make sure you have an extra bunch of towels on you or a roll of towels. So I'm going to keep a roll of paper towels over here on the edge in case I need them. Make sure you have some tape ready. Up on top there, I have some tape ready. Now I haven't used this caulk gun for this before, so it's kind of going to take a little getting used to. When I'm done, I'm just going to take this one off of here and I'm going to pop it on the other one. That way we don't have to cut a new one. There's our second tube. I'm going to take the thing off of it. We don't need it on there. Whew. All right, Kevin, let's do this. Let's do this. Probably going to put it that angle in the gun. All right. All right, guys, here we go. Open up your bottom. It's sealed. Okay, the bottom is open. You can smell the chemicals. Now, just like with any other caulk, you have to pop the top too. These aren't going to pop themselves. So, if your caulk gun comes with it, use the little pokey thing if you can. Sometimes these are too strong for the pokey thing. And you have to use something else. So let me see if I can find something stronger to poke these with. I'm not going to use my wife's scissors. I was tempted though. Oh, she'd be so mad. Whew. All right. Poke that with a screwdriver. Or wallow it out. Put your end on. Wipe off your screwdriver. All right, guys. Let's see if we can figure out. I'm going to start on one. This is multi. Twos. Let's try two. Three. All right, guys, you're not gonna be able to see it yet, but I'll get to you. I'm gonna kind of start this way and come around. Now we're getting wind. I hope it doesn't blow junk on my thing there. I gotta go one higher. Let's hit 4. Perfect, guys. This is working great. So much easier than the other way. Okay. turn this. Guys, I'm feeling really good about this. Really good about it. This is looking freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get the other tube ready. I'm going to wipe that off later. And careful, this is where you could make a mess. All right. Let's do this. Do not step on your window. Guys, I'm gonna come this way and come down. Oh, beautiful. Guys, that's awesome. This is turning out great, I think. All right, let's get some tape ready first. Now here's the deal. I don't want to get any tape right here on the paint because I have two different clears overlapping. So I'm going to kind of do that. All right, let's get this thing in here, guys. The good thing about this is it has a opening in it so you can use that. Stink bug, are you serious? All right, this says to get the bottom in first, but we're going to get whatever we get. Oh, I think we got it. Oh, yeah. Guys, I think we got it. Oh no, we got a little bit of blowout down here. Make sure your gaps are the same. Looks like we can go over just a hair maybe. Blowout. Like I said, we'll fix that. All right, guys. That's looking good. If you want to, you can put some blocks of cardboard under here. I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want to get it stuck up in that urethane. Oh, that's beautiful, guys. So I think what I'm going to do too is I'm going to put a block of wood here and kind of push down on the inside here because this wants to kind of stick out and it shouldn't be sticking out right there. So that's something I noticed when I tried this the first time. This one sits perfect. Let me see if I can find a way to push that up under. This might be dumb, but we're gonna try it. Guys, this is probably not a good idea because this is where it's gonna end up making a mess. Not too bad. This is where we're gonna make a mess as I try to wipe it off. It's gonna get all over my hands. It's actually working pretty good. Working pretty good, guys. Now, if you get some on the paint, wait till it starts to harden, and then you can scrape it off with a piece of plastic scraper. If you try to do it while it's gooey, you're just gonna make a mess. You're just gonna make a massive, massive mess. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so you can see how that's sticking out a little bit. It needs to begin right about there. So we're gonna try to do that with a piece of wood. Some cardboard and I guess some tape, because it's gonna wanna slide down if I don't. I did have one boo-boo when I was fixing the paint on the truck, and I'll show you that. I'll show you that. I'll show you what I did. I'll show you where I messed up. See that white right there? I got a little too aggressive when I was color sanding, and I sanded through, and it's just gonna have to be. Just gonna have to be. This is a 23-year-old truck with a $15,000 paint job. That only cost me about $1,000 because I did it myself. And I'm perfectly happy with the way it looks. All right, we have to find some cardboard to cut up. Not enough, not enough. Maybe 4. What do you think right about there? I think that's it right there, guys. Hopefully it doesn't pull the top in with it. It might. If it does, then I gotta see if I can figure something out. So I cut off a little block of foam, and I'm going to stick it on the inside there and see if it'll push it out just enough. Ah, it fell out. Let's use cardboard. I think that cardboard might do it. Pretty good, guys, looking pretty good. Oh, this is nice. Way better than the other crap. Like that might have been my fault. That other stuff may have been my fault by using grease and wax remover. All right, let's see if we can see this. There it is. There it is up the side. Let me turn the camera around because it shines better off of the flash there. There it is. There's our piece of cardboard to help keep the window where it needs to be. And let's go around the other side and look at it. There it is. It's nice and wide because you have to be, since this type of window is a different configuration than the other one. The original one, the OEM, is like a real thick rubber. And then you just need a little thin bit of urethane adhesive. But in this case, we have to make up the difference with the adhesive itself. So that's why I wanted to make it nice and tall, so it would still be able to catch and adhere and still flatten out a little bit, but also seal well. So I think we got it. I think that is perfect, guys. Now, I don't know if I got my paint too far on the inside here. I think the trim will cover it up. Right here I got a little bit of black. Not from this time, from the last time when I did this. So guys, I think that looks really good. I'm liking it. That looks perfect. All right, so I wanted to show you this. So I let this dry on here for a little bit. It is now rubber-like, except for right here it's a little thick. But you can now just peel it off. Now if you let it go too long, it's going to harden up and you're not going to be able to get it off. Right there is too thick. It's still liquid, so I'm going to use my paper towel. But as you can see, it peeled right off. So the same thing is happens with the paint. So if you do get some on the glass or on the paint, let it harden up until it's like gel-like like that and not sticky anymore, and you can just peel it right off. If you need to, scrape it with your fingernails. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the caulk. So you can see we only had about that much left of the second tube. So we got lucky, we had enough. We did just perfectly. Now, if you want to get this out, you just push this button on the back and you pull back like this, or you can turn this and you can just pop it out. But if you need to reload it, you have to pull it back. So look how quickly this stuff cures in the moisture of the air. It's already hard on the end here. And the more humid it is, the quicker it cures. I'm gonna just let this cure and I'm gonna save it just in case we have a leak and we need to kind of try to shove some urethane down in there to seal it. We should have enough in here to do that. Plus I have what's left from the tube from a couple weeks ago when I attempted this the first time. Probably take some tape and wrap it around that. It'll make it last longer as well. Oh no, we have unpoppable plastic. This whole line is joined, so you can't really pop them. So what I do to get rid of them is I just take scissors or a knife and I just cut down the middle and then it deflates them all. Another way you can do it is you can roll them up like this and you can twist them in the middle and you can pop them like that. So you still can pop them. It's just not as fun. Guys, my only issue here is I did dent the body in a few areas and I gouged the paint a little bit. So it is visible because this window pushes in a little further than the original window. It does have the big fat rubber lip around the edge. And so you can kind of see some dents here and there. Now, I am not gonna do anything about that. It's a pain in the butt to do it. I really have to take the bed of the truck off in order to be able to paint down the entire side here. I probably would actually stop at that first bend and kind of mask it off and stop there. And I really don't want to take the bed off. All right, guys, we did it. That was not fun. I would recommend that you pay somebody to do it for you. It actually cost me more money to do it myself than it would have if I was to pay somebody to do it. But it was fun, I learned something, and I'll never do it again. But as you saw, it was a process. Most of it was because I caused damage to the paint and then I had to fix it. If you're a professional, you're probably not going to damage the paint like I did. And it's gonna be easier to just put it in without having to do anything special other than maybe touch up with that primer that I used. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can use it to do your own window if you need to. Hopefully you never have to, and you never do, because it was not fun. But in any case, we got it done. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed it, And as always, I want to thank you for watching Kevin's Way Works. Uh-oh.